and Go.
Hey. I'm back again. Cheef and Go for all the friends and the family. What's cranking, y'all? This is going to be crazy because it's going to look like I'm looking up here when I should be looking at y'all. But I got this other screen going, but I'll make it work. Here for a special edition of the Cheef and Go. A bit unexpected of something like our president. You know, it's a little unexpected, but very necessary. So we, as everyone knows, unless you are living under a rock and not paying attention, because even homeless people got cell phones, a lot of them, right? Them Obama phones. So Trump has brought the federal agents, the ATF and the CIA and the DEA and the National Guard and all these different entities and troops into our city under the idea of crime is really high and they're going to come in and be able to, I guess, create a force or create a presence that's going to stabilize the crime rate or decrease the crime rate. And it's just unexpected and really is really unexplained. And a lot of his facts are inconsistent. And there's a bunch of idiotic rhetoric, in my opinion, because I'm looking and we're not saying we don't have a crime problem. Right, we always have. It's been better, as for better, for worse, up and down, just like any place you go, as is life, right? Positive and negative, right? Good and bad. That's how we coexist. There's really no way around it, but we still want to come together and try and figure out the best way to live the best quality of life. So tonight we are doing an emergency Cheef and Go, a state of emergency, to talk about this new invasion interaction of federal agents, this new federalization of the District of Columbia, and have special guest Dr. Rhonda Hamilton to come and explain some things and speak to the people about her concerns. And we want to hear your concerns, so definitely tune in and chime in the chat. And we're going to get this going. I'm going to bring her in, and we're going to get this thing started, y'all. Hey now, help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
That's right.
You gonna keep it cranking now, no matter what.
Yep, help is here. That's right.
Yeah. So I've invited as many people as I could. And so hopefully some people tune in because this is a very important subject topic and very time sensitive. Like, it's going down. The revolution will be social medialized. I've been seeing stuff that I just don't agree with. And it's like, I know we're both in agreement of that. It's not about that we don't have crime and these youngsters, and not even just youngsters, right? But the gun problem is major, right? Yes. So we clear on that. They got the modified and the clips and the what's it called? I don't forget the name, but you know, they printing guns and with the plastic guns. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. Switches and sticks and dogs and so, and it's just way too accessible. And not only that, the climate has changed the environment. Whereas in the 90s, when we came up, it was a lot of violence, a lot of, you know, after the crack epidemic, things went very crazy, right? And you had different reasons and causalities and things that was causing the violence, but it was usually a reason was something with the drug trade and women and money. But now you don't even have really, in my opinion, concrete reasons. And back in the day, you have certain guys that was appointed for certain things, and you know. But now everybody got a gun. They can't shoot. You see the videos. They run around. They shooting. They you know, more innocent people getting killed. I believe. So it's a little out of hand. But is this what it calls for? Is the question. And in a way, like, I mean, how do we get to the root of the problem? How do we get in and find the community leaders that's in place that understand, you know, the dynamic of the community and try to really resolve things? Because this just feels like a rush of aggression from you know, our troops, our armed forces, our military, and FBI, and all these different agencies that could come in and I think incite more violence and distress and anxiety and hostility amongst the people. That's how I feel. Because it's just coming in a super aggressive, fast way. So that was just my Cheef and Go startup. But
Yeah.
I know you got it for them. So y'all welcome Dr. Rhonda Hamilton. Let me get to the chat. All right.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Chiefy, and for putting this together at such a a short period of time. We definitely must be talking about all of what you just brought up. Here we are, the nation's seat of governance, and I think oftentimes many of us that are natively from here, we take a lot of that for granted. You know, every 4 years we see these rotations come in and out, and the truth of the matter is that we're dealing with some real life stuff here. These guns have been going off for too long. We've seen too much violence. Too many families have buried their children as well as their loved ones. And, I've been a mental health advocate on the ground of DC, Chiefy, for the last almost decade now. So I've been in and out of these households, and we have a myriad of issues that are plaguing us as a city that have been contributory factors to how we find ourselves here. My concern is that, we're often talking about we don't do politics, but I always say you may not do politics, but the politics are certainly doing you.
Mm.
Being a native of DC, we have always taken care of our seniors and our children. And while we do agree that there has to be some accountable behavior, I believe that everything starts from a conversation of trust and respect. And right now, this president, in my opinion, doesn't have any respect for who we are in this conversation. I don't see any of our leaders being brought to the table to help them understand the true landscape that is DC. And I think, as with any strategy or any strategic movement, you need to first understand what's at the table. And Mr. Trump and none of his Republican supporters truly understand the culture or the nature that is DC. There is a cry for help on that street. There are many that are out of control. But when you look at our youth being thrust in the midst of that, many of these young people do not deserve to lose the rest of their life for bad decisions, bad policies, lack of resources. We're graduating them with low English language art comprehension. So, what job or career are they going to graduate to if we're not intentional in those spaces? You mentioned about when we came up, we had access to resources. We lived through being the murder capital and having the crack epidemic. And oftentimes, we're not hearing about the missing children in our society, the fact that we have a human trafficking issue right here located next to Route 95 or 95 North or 95 South. And the State's Department are telling me that that's why we are such a character in this human trafficking, because it's easy to come through our town and make moves and make money and exploit our youth and get out of town, And so there are conversations we have to have. And as I said, we got to have these conversations on the block and in the boardroom. One of the things that our late great Marion Berry taught us is that we are part of this conversation. There is no DC without talking about the experience of many of our underserved Black families, brown families, low income families. So there are conversations we have to have, and there's a reason why these guns are showing up on our streets. And what we have to do is remember that there's a national conversation, but there's also a local conversation. And I'm concerned that our local conversation isn't happening on a level to garner the respect so that we can properly deal with our youth, this crime, as well as our homelessness. What we cannot do is be swayed by this theater of politics. This was a mayor who was failing us before Trump was elected. This was a DC council who was failing us before Trump was elected. They told us that too many citizens weren't paying their rent, and that's why they couldn't get a handle on the housing. And we've been telling them for the better part of almost 4 years, we've got slumlord realities, and these folks are living in the with mold and asbestos and rodent feces. And why would our youth respect the politics in our town if we can't get the politics in our town to respect our people? And
Mhm.
so there are conversations that we have to have, because I don't know about you, Chiefy, but I didn't give this mayor permission to give our city away. And we got to talk about that.
Okay, so that's a great point. So did she give permission, or are we not a state and they can come in and kind of rule as they please? And that's all by design, right? We are a city for a reason. We talking about taxation, no representation.
Yes.
No, it's a city for a reason, right? New York, the financial branch, the military branch, and the religious branch, right?
Yes.
New York, DC, and London, Vatican, whatever, right? So
Yes.
that we ain't gonna get in all that. What I'm saying is though, because I was watching a couple, I watched her response 2 days ago and her
Mhm.
response 1 day ago, and her tune changed a bit 1 day ago after she spoke to Attorney General Blondie. That's ironic. And so and we're working close, and then Chief Smith is coming in, and we're gonna do this, and don't get it twisted. We working together, and that's the thing. It's not a hate Trump thing. It's not a it's Trump racist thing, because let me clear that up. Trump just don't care about nobody but himself. He might
Absolutely.
tolerate you if you got some money, right? That or something that can help him move along. But if any, he don't care about nobody. It's more than racism. So
That's
let's
right.
be
It's
clear
bigger
on
than
that.
that. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's always about him. So I'm just saying, is she allowing it, or is it, just how the politics are working, in the city? Like, so she brought up a point about, because he said the cashless bond, right? He was talking about
Hmm.
that, and she
Hmm.
like, that's been here since the mid 90s, right? And further, we don't choose our judges,
Right.
right? And our
That's right.
prosecutors, right?
Right.
So he's saying, like, basically they letting people come in and letting them go, these youngins, but we didn't elect this prosecutor or this judge.
That's
So
right.
yeah, just
Um,
wanted to add that, because like I said, I watched a couple, and I want to be on her side. I want her to say the right thing and do it just like Obama though. So let's be clear, y'all. Any president to come in office, it's a lot of people that's gonna have a lot to say, right?
mhm.
But it's
Mhm.
not always easy to maneuver in that space when you have, especially for her right now. I'm just saying, I don't know, but she got Trump president. I was watching the mayor of New York, mayor or governor, I think the governor, and
Governor.
because he talking about New York, and he gonna
Mhm.
go to Chicago, and he like, man, we good. Like, basically, I done already been through my stuff, right? That's what I'm just saying. But I'm like, you saying that now, but how much power does he have
Yes.
as commander in chief? And so I don't know if she's letting them, or because one side of your brain is saying, or one piece of it is saying, yeah, we do want to get rid of crime. Then the other
Mhm.
piece is saying, but not like this. Like, hold up, y'all coming
Careful what you ask for,
up.
right? Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I'm not coming to trash anybody. I'm looking for solutions, facts, and information. And we talked earlier. You was giving them to me, so I just wanted to, I'm gonna be quiet.
No,
Let-
you're doing good. I love that. You know what, Chiefy? There's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, what I find with us generally is that when we don't understand, or when the conversation is going over our head, that's right, Tycoon. Power to the people. That's
right.
exactly where I'm going with my response. A lot of times when things go over our head, we don't realize or feel like we have the power, because they get it's by design. So let's talk about DC's unique position, because no matter what's going on, we're supposed to be fighting for our democracy, right? Too many of our forefathers and ancestors were hung for the right just to show up and vote, for the schools to be segregated, or we can go in our history and look at where we have gone through this before. But what happens is they start talking over our head. And so we just kind of, we push back, or we tone out, or we pray that the person we elected is actually going to do the right thing, or actually has our back. Well, let's talk about it. DC, as you said, is the only jurisdiction that we don't elect our prosecutors, right, or our judges. Our Home Rule Act. Our
Mhm.
Home Rule Act was put in place in 1973, Christmas Eve of 1973 to be exact.
Mhm.
And the reality of Home Rule, it gave us the right to elect our own mayor and our DC council to pass, to pass our laws and to also put a budget in place. But whatever we do has to be approved by the Oversight and Reform Committee at Congress. Now, I got so many people in DC. We live a stone's throw from Congress, and we ain't been down there. We
Mm,
don't know what's going on if it's not on the 5 o'clock news, and that is dangerous. So, power to the people has to also come with accountability. The people got to be educated. The
facts.
people got to understand when and why we're supposed to show up. So, our home rule was put in place, and now it's in jeopardy because in it there's a clause. The clause is clause 704, and what that says is that if the president perceives there to be a state of emergency. I'm sorry, that's section 740. If there's perceived to be a state of emergency, then he can step in and call for the DC police to report to him, the federal representation, in order that he can store order. The challenge with that is we got to understand locally, do we agree with the fact that the crime is way down as they've been reporting
Mm,
versus these gunshots going off every night? So
mm,
I'm a mental health advocate. So at the core of everything, I believe there's a root cause. And I don't believe that we've been addressing the root cause reason for why so many of our young people are being exploited to be out there in crime and like you said, printing guns. There's a lot that has dominoed into why we're here. So we're weak right now. We're
mm,
always going to be weak as long as we got to go to Congress to get approval for what we're doing. So when we are the nation's seat of governance, we house the federal monuments, we house the lawmakers. People come from all over the world to come to the nation's seat of governance. And so when we got trash in the streets and when we got families living with mold and no heat and slumlord realities, and we got one half of the city left to survive while the other is thriving, brother,
mm-hmm.
I'm a native. We
Right,
ain't gonna watch everybody come into this town and be on the come up, and then
right.
we still living the same low lives and no rescue or relief in sight. So let's take Trump out the picture for a minute. Our home rule will always be in jeopardy until we can exhibit the level of governance that will warrant that we can become a state. We have, what is it, three, what you call, oh God, come on, Rhonda, senators, at-large senators. There's another word for them. I'm gonna tell you who they are in a minute. But their sole goal is to be able to help us secure statehood. And what that means is we have to get a vote. Now we know Miss Norton has been down there forever. She's been down there forever. And we have not gotten statehood under the Democrats when we had a black president and Democrat president in the White House, and we are not getting it under the Republican and so administration or Mr. Trump. I believe that it's because DC citizens have not come together to understand what's at stake. And I'm concerned that our mayor and our council and everybody else around the world has held town halls. We just had a town hall from her, a tele-town hall. In an hour's time, you are not going to properly educate the citizens to feel empowered. So we're left to what Trump's rhetoric is.
Mm,
Now, Trump is an opportunist. Now, I'm
fact,
a former real estate broker. And when you negotiating contracts and helping people understand, achieving home ownership or investing in these large real estate deals, you go to the table with strategy and leverage,
right.
right? So we got at least 100,000 families living at the poverty level. So what that means is we're leaning on the federal government more than we need to for food stamps, for the Medicaid, for the reality of our housing subsidies. Now, back up for a minute. What was going on in our housing situation? Vouchers being sold out the back door, right?
Yeah.
We got three policing agencies on the doorstep of our housing agency. HUD, OIG, Office of Inspector General, is investigating them. We got the current OAG of DC, and we also have the FBI. Why would these policing agencies be housing investigating our housing component? Because we've been running it corruptly. We got so many housing units that are in disrepair. We got slumlords, and we keep giving them the federal government dollar. So Trump and them came in and said, you know what? We're pulling this rug from under them. If you don't do this, then we're going to take this money from you. So we are too heavily dependent on the federal government to house our families, because we haven't managed to take our $21 billion budget. That's the budget that Bowser's been managing. We haven't taken that money and properly allocated it into programs that work. Now, I know a lot of people that got grants, and a lot of people that, stay in her circle and don't want to mess up their money. But the fundamental reason that this Trump administration is able to smack us around like they are, because they know that we need that federal government dollar. And we have no strength and no power, because we have not accomplished becoming a state. So what we've got to do, we've got to show up and demand that we are no longer going to keep fighting for our city. Home rule needs to be permanent, in the sense that until we can prove that we are ready to be a state, until we can prove, we have to know that no matter who's in that seat, we are not going to be in jeopardy of being taken over. Because let's be clear, this the nation's seat of governance. They want this real estate. And see, many of us don't pay attention to that. We sit on waterfront property, the nation's seat of governance. What happens here impacts the world.
But when they wanted it for a while.
Yeah, and it's been that way for a while. And the reality of us never having had a mayor that is anything other than Black. I'm not saying that we can't have a mayor that would be able to do something great and not be Black. But what I'm saying is that we have opportunity to cement the fact that we are capable of running our government. But what we got to do is be real with ourselves. They see the same statistics we see. They see the same headlines. They watching this guns be out of control. They watching the folks come in and pushing the people out. They just going to help us get it done quicker so they can take it over. So what this mayor has done is, in these politics, it gets ugly, right? That's what we call it, the theater of politics. I'm almost sure that he has shown her the writing on the wall. You got too many people that need this federal dollar for you to be bucking at me. And when we had opportunity to shore up our base, we didn't do it. And what do I mean by that? These people been sleeping on the street too long. Too long. Do you know the district owns quite a bit of vacant property that's sitting? And we have not created opportunities to work these families back into our economy. We are too weak. We're sitting in a trap like a wounded animal. And those Republicans are playing chess, as I told you, and we playing checkers. And it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So this 740, section 740 of the home rule, he's looking for a way to be able to get access to our city and take us over. Now, here's the thing. He only gets 30 days initially to have the police reporting to the guard. So everything that's going on now is for show. He needs the world to see that it's dangerous in DC. It's more dangerous than in Baghdad. I have to do this. Trump is playing up to what we allowed him to do. Our local leadership, we had too many failures. Our systems are failing. We got corruption coming out of every other agency. The agencies that are designed to take care of our children are failing. DYRS and no, shout out to my DC employees, because I want you to know, Chiefy, it's a lot of them on the inside that is pissed off. They don't like what's going on. They don't like seeing our families live like this. But DC has an 81 times wealth gap. What does that mean? Take your take-home pay every month and multiply it times 81. And our affluent Caucasian families have access to that. This isn't about Black and white. This is about our economics. We are losing. And our children are not being graduated to higher understandings. We're not a serious enough factor in the economics to matter. And so when I say that we need to have them put some respect on our name, we need to help them to understand that we can play chess too. We can save and put programs in place. We can hold our citizens accountable. We can get our people out of the street. But what we've managed to do is allow people to move here with another agenda, and they think they're going to create a new DC. There is no such thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one DC. And we have to come to this table stronger. So the reason I wanted to be on your platform and any platform that'll have me is the education. We fall short of the education, and the first thing we do is we say, I don't like politics. They looking at our statistics. Chiefy,
Mm-hmm.
we got upwards of 500,000 people registered to vote. We
Right.
only got upwards of 200,000 showing up in our local politics. Because you know what happens? We get upset. We
Right.
get mad. Emotions don't change anything.
Right. Right. Because who loves politics? I mean, politics is like you said, theater, right? It's just theater. The world is a stage. This is a point that I considered at some point years, about 5-10 years ago, whatever. I'm just looking at this thing, really looking at the two-party thing. Back
Mm-hmm.
and forth now is crazy, right? And I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
everybody the fact that they got two parties is crazy. Like, why are we against each other? And
Absolutely.
then just looking at politics and it's a suit and a tie and everybody dressed up in this certain way, right? Just even that aspect of it, and some of them wearing makeup for the bigger press conference, right? What is we talking about? Some issues about the people, about home base.
It's supposed
How
to be about the
many
people, right?
come in with a t-shirt and
It's
speak the truth to
celebrities.
me? You know what I'm
Shoes.
saying? So,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's a big show. So nobody loves politics. Nobody loves to go get a tooth pulled or certain things, but certain things have to be done so you can move forward in the best way. So we got to
Yes.
still be involved.
We have to be involved. Watch this. We think politics is what they showing us, right? They just taking advantage of the fact that they have us weak or thinking that we don't have the power. Democracy is always supposed to be about the people.
Yes.
Government for the people, of the people, by the people. All of that is supposed to be so that the policies and the way they use those federal dollars and our tax dollars are
Right.
supposed to make for a higher standard of living. Anybody watching DC headlines over the course of the last 3 years knows that the living standards are low. We
Right.
have no business having grandmothers afraid to come out their doors. I never been able to walk all over this city. Whether I started out and ate at the Panorama Room on Friday night, we walked over to Senator and sat up and saw a movie all night, or if we was at the Coliseum and the B bus was taking too long, we walked home. This city is a different city, and many of us are 4, 5, and 6 generations embedded in this town. And for them to come in and say, oh, nope, we taking it over. Oh, we're going to restore order. That's a slap in the face, because that would mean that we did not elect local leaders that would be able to get the job done. And if that's the case, then we're supposed to exercise our democracy and show up and get these bad actors out of there so that we don't stay weak. I saw someone with a comment said that they were in the military and came home. I lived in Germany. Once you leave and come back, your vision opens up, right? And the truth of the matter is that if we don't fight for it, we will lose it, because they're trying to find a way to take it. And the politics are, when your grandmother or your friend's grandmother, your co-worker, or 3 families, Miss Smith you grew up with, and she living in that same old community with water that doesn't get hot in the wintertime, heat that won't come on. There's a budget that comes into that federal government, and every time we want to make a big deal happen, Chief, we got to go and cut programs to the needy. We just had billionaires at the table.
Right.
We didn't leverage our geography right. Who doesn't want to do business in the nation's capital?
Right, exactly.
How did we not come away with
trains.
guaranteed scholarships and guaranteed, internships? We are a city that has opportunity. But if we don't have leaders that understand that and don't go to the table and get chumped because we haven't been doing a good job, because our statistics aren't well, they done a number on her. And it's up to us as the people. And the one other point I want to make, Chiefy, we have an organizational chart. When businesses run, you run your business, you have an organizational chart, so you know what the hierarchy looks like, right? The first block on DC government's organizational chart are the DC residents. Under that is the mayor, the council, and the judicial branch.
Right.
They are supposed to be working for us.
Service.
When
Yes.
we don't show up to vote, when we don't show up to call them out, when we don't get the education, folks like Trump and these other folks with agendas, they show up. 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning 2 years ago, I was racing down Mississippi Avenue, looking over at the Venus and Serena Tennis Center that was there. And we saw Caucasian women on that court playing 9 o'clock in the morning, right up from Hart Junior High School. And I looked around and I said, you know what? How many tennis courts did they pass before they came to use this one? Right? If
Right.
we're not going to use this stuff, if we're not going to make sure that our children benefit from this, then other folks will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going on. They are rapidly moving us out because who said that we have the right to have the nation's seat of governance and run it so poorly?
Yeah. And one quick point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he deploy the National Guard and the FBI and the military on January 6th?
Absolutely not. And I got another point
great
for
thing
you.
to look at. You have Trump supporters.
Absolutely. And that's the theater. And that's why I say we get lost in the okie doke. Oh, Trump said this, and Trump know exactly what he's doing. He see the numbers. He's an opportunist, and they see that we're weak. But let me say this to you. Right now, 4 out of the 5 top states that have crime are red states. Are the National Guard in their states on the ground? Tennessee,
No.
Tennessee is off the chain right now,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the Republicans that is writing the law, the legislation to take over DC, is from Tennessee. Now,
Okay.
how you gonna come to DC and govern what should happen with our crime when you in the top 5 of the nation,
right,
for bad crime?
Right, and two quick points, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just came out. Are we DC the most expensive city or third at most?
Yes.
Traffic and most expensive. That go along with the rat race and a bunch of right. So that point,
that's the push out.
The irony of the program directors that came here and pushed Go-Go off the radio. These program directors from other places that's coming us to tell us what we want to hear, right? So this is the Cheef and Go. So we gonna keep it cranking. We gonna talk about it all.
Keep
right?
It 100.
Thing. Yeah, but right. So I'll be having my little points.
No, I like your point. And the thing about it, we are so beautiful. I was in Germany and I heard the Butt and Essence, and I was just everybody knows who DC is, yes. Right? We gotta remember who we are. Right? They keep us in a bubble and keep us uneducated and keep us having these conversations asking for living conditions to be raised higher. Come on now. Everybody's showing up in this town and making $1 at the demise of the family structures that we haven't helped to solidify. And I saw on the news, give the news people time and they're going to find somebody to say, oh yeah, we want the guard in here. Come on. I like what Trump is doing because they need, no. That is absolutely ridiculous because Trump and what they're doing, they don't understand our landscape. They don't understand who we are and the things that we need to solidify our life, our lifestyles. And the reality is that if you turn it over to them, you won't get it back. And it's not by mistake that it's too expensive to live here. I got teachers emailing me, asking me, please do something because they want to live where they work. They want to be able to educate on another level, but the curriculums, how is it that the schools are directly under the mayor? We have a two-headed snake in a public school, which I got a perfect education in public school, and we have a charter school model. We fund 2 different school settings, and we can't manage to graduate them any higher than what we're doing. Right. We can't put trades in those schools and make sure we're graduating them to careers.
It's crazy.
Why are so many young people graduating to the corner? What else are they supposed to be doing? We keep saying we want them to put the guns down and do what? Do what? Every time something comes up, you're cutting it. Every time we hear a headline come out, somebody doing something with the money or with the contracts. Who's managing the government? Who's watching out for what matters to us? And so power of the people means that we have to show up in our local elections and hold them accountable. Right? And we're not doing that. We're getting emotional. any day of the week, you can walk any neighborhood in this city and they can give me an earful and get all emotional and what
Right.
she's this and she's that. But you ask them if they're voting and they don't care about it. And we
Exercise
got
your
to change.
exercise that voice with your action, right?
Yeah.
With your intention, with voting, getting out here, talking to kids, right?
Yes. It's
Talking to homeless people. Hey, look, it might seem like homeless people crazy, but they people, they was just in a
come
situation
on now.
and they looking and
Homeless.
they yelling. You know, you gotta be careful, don't get me wrong. But my whole life, I always been the type of person that I'm not just gonna shun you off and worry about the bum bump like Kevin Hart, because you're a person. And that's just how I'm built, how I was raised, integrity,
Yes.
human, you
Many of us were raised like
right?
that. We forgot. We got
Yeah,
the
we
Lexus
forgot,
car
bro.
notes now
Yeah,
and the
chasing
mortgage
that
payments.
got bill on your back, billing them and the rent race because this is the most expensive city. And we
Yeah,
forget that he is I and I am him, and you know, we are the people. And like you said, we forget that we even got the power. So man, I
we do.
appreciate it. This is great information.
It and you know what? What I want to do is I want to is when hope is gone, you on that last leg. When you lose hope, then you
That's it.
susceptible to fall for anything. And
Yep.
what we have to do is, I've been writing letters to Trump since he took office, telling him that you can do whatever you want with our mayor, because that was her. You know, she created this mess, but you're gonna leave our city alone. You keep threatening, do whatever you're gonna do so that we know what play we need to make. We went down to Congress on the 29th of April, got a group together and went down there and we went on both sides of the aisle. I'm independent. I'm independent because, like you, I just don't agree with voting for the same nonsense. And when Obama went on TV in 2012 apologizing, saying that he thought if he went across the aisle and gave them what they want, then he could help us. I said, no, I can't play these kinds of games with these people. These are people's livelihoods. I'm walking in communities and I got young brothers breaking down in my arms, and many of them don't want to cry. They going into shelters that's challenging their manhood, but they
Mm.
ain't got nowhere else to be because they ain't got no, their choices are limited. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so they'd rather lay on the block, lay in the street, or sleep in the hallway so that they don't have to go in a shelter and have their lives changed forever. I work on so many abuse cases of these children in the CFSA, in the foster kids that are aging out of the system, don't have nowhere to live. You know, I hear god awful stuff. A single mother living in a building for a week with a crying baby, and we walking over that to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
See, we got stuff. We got stuff. And when these people show up playing chess and we still here having these same conversations, why are we throwing parties that don't include the education?
Mm. With the
Why?
funding, and we got extra, funding, even with that, as the official music, even go, because that's the
Oh, that's
biggest
a whole
money.
no. Where's
But
the
yeah,
audit?
but
Where's the
education, like
audit of the
the
money?
schools, like I do tech and go loops. I can teach them from A to Z. I've done it all, and I got to tap into it, but it's just not easily accessed. And then, like you
And it
said, it's
shouldn't be.
misappropriated,
But
and
you made a point. It
yeah,
should be.
it
The
should be.
folks that should be at the table that really care, that want to help. If you're not in this circle, and Mayor Bowser said something. She said in her when she won her victory speech in 22. Because like you said, somebody gonna win, somebody gonna lose, no problem. But when they win, they supposed to be representation for the whole. She
Yeah.
said in her victory speech, I gave all my nemesis jobs. So what
Mm.
that means is she's identifying your price to buy your silence and keep you complicit.
How about
And
that?
so now we start to divide. I can't mess up my good thing. Yeah, I see it's messed up over there, but I'm up in this circle. I'm good. We
Mm.
didn't used to be a DC that operated like that. And while
Right.
we've been operating like that, people have been showing up here with hidden agendas and visible agendas because they have no fear. We have no power, they think. And I'm
Yeah.
here to say to us, we need to take our power back. And you do that by showing up.
So
Trump
they
keeps testing us, measuring us. I'm
rough.
going to take over DC if they
Yeah.
don't do this. He
Right.
announces it. I'm going to. Where are we? We sitting back waiting for the mayor to act. What
Right.
I know is she's made some really interesting moves. And in this game of politics, they done pulled her aside and let her know. They done
Yeah.
let her know. And if we don't show up, we're going to sit back and watch her give us away by the stroke of a pen.
All right. So on that note, right,
Mm-hmm.
right, because we so hard, the murder cap. You know what I'm saying? We from the city, so we don't go for all that, right? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we need y'all to stand up, especially for all you DC people that be like, I ain't with the DMV and all that. Who you think gonna come help y'all now,
That's
right?
right.
But I want to let all the people know. But no, I got a couple comments. They're asking how can they reach you? And since we got some people in here, we need to take care of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause they picking up what you putting down, I'm sure.
Good, good. I was banking on that. I'm a real
Yeah,
recognized real. And when I saw it, I came running because I said there is no way we're gonna keep letting this happen and on my watch. Because you live long enough, you can't take it with you. So I don't know what we waiting for. And truth be told, it's our generation, right? The baton been passed. Somebody
yeah,
stood in the lane and made sure we came through. Don't act like we always made the right decisions. I was an
yeah.
A student, but it took my foundation to get me up and out. You know, but to get in touch with me, I'm gonna give you my website. But more importantly, I'd love, Chief, if your audience would come out. We're gonna be over at the God of Second Chance Church at 4014 Southern Avenue, 4410. I'm sorry, Southern Avenue, on next Wednesday at 6:30. And we're bringing all of our real folks together so that we can have this conversation, educate on a larger level, and organize. One of the things that I've been doing is talking to legal professions. I don't know why the mayor, and I'm sure they're doing something behind the scenes, but see, we need to force these conversations out in the public because we don't know enough as a people. Right. And as a people, I mean 700,000 strong citizens. Our strongest asset is our citizen. So we're bringing everybody together for a state of emergency community forum next Wednesday at 6:30 at 4410 Southern Avenue. My contact phone number is 202-486-6037. If you just send me a text and let me know you're coming and how many in your party, I want to pack that church. I think they told me capacity was 150, and that's nothing considering all the people that's walking across this city that's upset. And I see the comments about the homeless. Understand something. Homeless is not what we thought it was yesterday. Many of them are our veterans who went and sacrificed for our country. I'm the daughter of the military, of Army, and he's buried in Veterans Cemetery right to this day. I buried him at 51 years of age because he came back with a heroin addiction long before we knew what PTSD was,
Mm,
right? Because education gets to us slower. That's the politics I'm talking about. Many of us can relate to that. Many of us have a DC story. And what we've got to do is take that power back, show up. We got to talk to these legal folks, and we have legal folks at the table that are
mhm.
wanting to understand how can they help. We have different populations at the table, our Jewish folks, folks that know what's going on, that realize that there's a steal going on. They ready to come steal our city because our mayor and our council has implemented policies that they haven't been enforcing. It's so embarrassing. They left $40 million on the table that they didn't collect from slumlords, and then came out and told us that people not paying their rent. Our
Yeah,
vets are here trying to deal with these programs, trading your dignity.
it's crazy.
You should not have to ask somebody for stable housing when you didn't represented your country.
It's crazy.
And so it's just stuff
Unbelievable.
that we've been doing here locally that has left us weak and wounded. And this is not personal against the mayor, only that you created a mess because when you showed up for the job, you had a responsibility to get it done. My workers are calling from the inside out because morale is low. They don't want to be a part of the shenanigans. They worried about being retaliated against for speaking out. And with Trump doing what he's doing, we just got a highway of people looking for an out. So what
Yep.
I say to people, help is here. But you got to come on. You got to be a part of it. Ain't nobody got no business fighting harder to save our city than we fight. And the
Right.
power is with us. Believe me, we went to Congress. They understand. They hear us. But we got to show up because they fighting themselves.
Right.
They want
Right.
to win the election. They lost the Black brothers in 24. That they
Mm.
didn't know. They didn't
Yeah.
realize. that people ain't gonna keep going with this nonsense, this two-party. I tell people, vote principle over party. Make them earn it.
Right.
Make them earn it.
Right.
And they're
Exactly.
not earning it.
That's
They're
how you
telling us that Trump is the bad guy, like they good. It's
right.
been under your watch all this time.
Right. Exactly. How about that? That's the thing. Principle over party. I love that, because you're not going with a blanket idea of what this party represents, right? The Republican Party represents a certain thing, bootstraps, and lift yourself up. I'm an entrepreneur. I understand certain ideologies of Republicans, not this stuff lately, but you got Republicans that's going Democrat. I forgot my man.
Absolutely, aren't they? They running.
And I'm not with Democrats helping and saving everybody for life and making them dependent on assistance either. So when assistance is needed, it's necessary. But where's the checks and balances? Where are the people that's
there
in
you
place?
go. That's the question right there, Chief.
Right. And why are they passing
imbalances?
Checks and balances. Why are they passing legislation on Christmas Eve? Because a lot of the senators are not going to be there.
That's
right? This has been going on.
That's the theater
the
of politics.
1911. Jekyll Island. We can do this. I come in here.
To my military folk out there that watching, when you putting strategy together, the biggest part about strategy is knowing your opponent.
How about
when they sized us up and saw who our leadership was and saw all this nonsense, they came ready to take us.
It was like they sweet,
They knew we were weak. And she's sitting up there with her prettiness and looking all nice and can't get the words out of her mouth. Was very dismissive just a year ago, right? Now she in checkmate.
Yeah.
And guess what? In 2022, Newsweek put an article out that said DC was the last. We came in the last place for economic racial disparity. How are we going to cycle through that in 3 years and be ready to fight against this Republican army that came ready when we got at least 100,000 families dependent on the federal government? When we got seniors that can't afford to pay the rent. This thing is by design, and what we doing is we handing it to them. So what we have to do as a people, because there's many talented folks here in DC, many educated folks such as you, such as me. I ran real estate companies. I understand negotiating contracts. How in the world do you bring a Ted Leonis to the table and approve a $600 million deal and then turn around and cut snap? What?
Right.
How do you balances? It just that, and then you got so we haven't been doing the business properly, and it allows them to believe that as blacks, we can't run our city. And I have an issue with that because I'm very intelligent, right? Very very capable. But what has happened is that they have a large
competent. Nigga, you get your ass out of your orange face head. I'm very competent and confident. If you're competent, it's easy. Like, what are you?
Look, we better cut these TVs off and start mounting up. I go around to communities. I'm organizing my communities. I want tenant associations. I want y'all organized because everybody has to be accountable. And you don't have to know as much as I know. You just have to know that I know and that I'm one of you. Because we got to go back and take our city back. And this mayor, she knows who I am, and I'll be in front of Mr. Mendelson tomorrow because I wrote housing legislation in 22 to stop the slumlords. I said, why are people going back and forth to court arguing about mold, recess in court? They got to wait for you to make a decision, go back home to this unhealthy part. No. Fix that mold and put a lien on that property. That way that joker won't be able to sell it until he take care of the lien. And the longer he take, the interest grows, so we make money as a city. What's going on? But I found out there's some relationships in this town. Some relationships that make it impossible for our elected leaders to do what they're supposed to do. And that's what happens when we take our eye off the prize. We are the first stop on the organizational chart. This is our business. They work for us. And it's time for us to mount up and go block by block and bring them back to the table. Our children, they're acting out. They're doing what they see being done before them because we didn't create any other accesses for them. We didn't tell them that they were brilliant and capable of being excellent, right? We allowed them to see that negative image on the TV. And then we went on and zoomed on passing our Lexuses because we made it out to the suburbs. Who I'm talking about? Only us can save us because only us recognize what we need. Doesn't mean we can't work with other people, but we have to be in the driver's seat of our stories, or else they're going to tell a different story and write us out of it. And that has to end.
And we from every walk of life, and who you are and who I am. We all different. We come from different spaces and places, but we need to tap into this Fred Hampton energy, this Malcolm X energy. If y'all got to go research and find out who these dudes was and what they stood for and how they was assassinated, we need that energy, because guess what? There's a war going on outside.
Yes. And he only got limited time. This isn't the takeover. See, when we don't have the education, we panic. When we don't have education, we panic.
Real quick. Before you said that, today I'm just thinking about it, and I'm just scrolling. I'm seeing different people on Facebook, and this and that, and why wouldn't y'all want them to clean up the crime and make y'all kids safe? It's like that's not the come on, we got to dig deeper, people. That's not the problem. Of course we want our community safe. We want our kids to be safe and go outside and thrive. Even though we came up the way we came up, that's why we want them to. But this thing that's came all of a sudden, right? That's being forced on us, implemented aggressively, instantaneously. It's temporary.
It's
right?
temporary. It's the fear of politics.
Yeah, and so think about all the National Guard and certain people that live in different states that was deployed to come here. You think they want to come here, right? People that's intelligent, of like mind, body, and soul, that's looking like, man, what the heck got us going over here for? Like when you go to work and your boss got you doing a task that you know is not even necessary. He just trying to keep you busy because you're on the clock. So imagine the amount of National Guard, FBI agents, and whatever ICE that he got coming here that don't want to be here. Right.
Absolutely.
And then imagine the ones that was bullied in school, and like the ones that become police that just can't wait to press you out, and Trump is giving them full. So all that is to be understood, but understand that's temporary. So people like, this gonna come save the day. Yeah, how long? 30 days? Then what happens after 30 days?
Exactly. And a caring leader or someone that was genuine would come to the table with the people that know the landscape and say, look, how did we get here? What's going on? Where's the executive order to find out how so many guns end up in these young people's hands?
Right.
They don't have any money like that. Where's the commerce? What's going on? Let's break up that ring that makes it possible for guns to end up in their hand. And then how about we just had a report that came out that said DC public schools got too many guns in them. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Where are the programs to teach them that about guns and why they're dangerous? Why are the kids not parented? You could say it's the parents, but parents, a lot of them single, mother or father. I know a lot of single fathers. They got to work 10 and 12 jobs to pay the rent. So why is the rent so high? Why is this the most expensive place to live?
Look, we didn't get here overnight. You talking some real talk. Our children, many of them are being raised by unhealthy adults. Period. Point blank. And when I walk and the social media, I have walked in so many homes. They in their house, but they holding on to my leg because when I go out that door, they going with me and they home. Energy, and I don't even have to have a conversation because that tell me everything I need to know.
Exactly.
Some of these youngins don't want to be up in these households because we're not dealing with the root cause of why we've gotten to this point. And anybody that says, they need to lock our kids up, no, absolutely not. That's never an option. And that means we've given up hope and we're not willing to be a part of the solution that our communities need. But I'll tell you who would be. Our big mamas, right? When the government shuts down at 5 o'clock, them big mamas are in those communities, but everything is all out of whack. They in there trying to stay alive. I never lived in a community in Ward 8, Southeast DC, and all my living. I never lived in a community where Big Mama wasn't able to come out and tell me about myself. Get out from under my window doing all that cursing, young lady. Get your butt down on that porch. And we respected it.
And guess what?
They worried about being shot if they say something.
Yeah,
And
now
we
if Big
gotta
Mama gonna feed you. If somebody mama
they
on
will
that block,
feed you,
and
they
they gonna
will
train
house you.
all the rest of them kids, they gonna feed you and make sure you good, man. You know, until
Absolutely.
yeah. And we
Absolutely.
can listen. And it was that was the community that was in agreement. That
That
yeah,
was
Big
the
Mama next door,
community.
your neighbor could tell you, don't be coming around here doing that. This now like they gonna knock on your door with the chopper. What you
That's
talking
right.
about, son? They pulling them at the school
Oh,
with the
please.
teacher and reprimanding them.
Beefing with
Imagine
you.
being a teacher. This crazy.
Beefing with you because you was trying to help save theirs or feed theirs or give them some wisdom. And we gotta get back to what it's like. I see you, Jamal. I see you,
Yeah,
Jamal.
I
Salute,
like it.
soldier. But
That's right.
Chiefy, I just appreciate being able to come on and have a real conversation, because one of the reasons I agreed to run was because I realized that we could only hold so many town halls. We shut down the Frederick Douglass Bridge. You feel
Yeah,
me? Trying
yeah.
to get this local leadership attention and say, look, we're not living like this. Put Phil Mendelssohn and OAG Swab over at Marbury Plaza and told them in June of last year, your governing and your living standards are too low. Too many people are coming into this city and making money off the low living of our people. It's so much I couldn't even do it justice in this show. But what I will tell you is that I'm one of you all. I saw that we weren't at the table. I looked at the same numbers that Mr. Trump and them are looking at. And right now, what they're doing is trying to throw us off balance. We sitting back waiting for the mayor to say something magical, and her goose is cooked, because the truth of the matter is she has used that money and moved it around to put gatekeepers in place to keep the real voices away, because they got it. No, they don't got it. This is our business. We are the first stop, and we need to go back and take our power back. And so I came to the forefront to make sure we do this together. Help is here, whether it's housing, healthcare, education, our economics, our labor, and the fact that we need more jobs, and our public safety. We can do this. We will do this. But our young people will not respect just anybody. There
Yeah,
has to be a trust. And
yeah,
every day for the last 10 years, I've been in and out of community protecting the trust of people that have told me things, that have shared with me that they feel unhealthy, unwell, but they don't want to wear the label, because as soon as you find out somebody mental, that's a whole nother conversation, right?
yeah, yeah,
Bottom line is, it's time for us to get back to being a community, to get back to recognizing and respecting the leadership in our community, and to get these disingenuous folk out the way. All these people on that payroll, I'm coming in to audit our books. Too many contracts are going in the wrong hands, and we're not getting a return on our investment. And I'm sorry, I'm getting ready to go here, with all of the violence interrupted programs and all of the safe passage, everything they marched before us, those guns have not slowed down. And we are so weak that this president and his cronies would show up and take our city. There's not enough money for that to be the case. So I
disrespect.
came forward to be a voice to get people to get back to what we are and to hold you all accountable, because I got some DC workers, I got some seniors, and I got some babies that's dependent on us to win. It is time for DC to win, and it is time for them to put some respect on our name. I'll take care of her, but I got to have people, because y'all got to vote.
Right. And we want power of the people and
Power of the people.
representation by the people.
Right. That's
And
right.
as
And we
as
wanted
as
in the history books that in 2026, those folks in DC rose up. Because guess what happens when we rise up? Baltimore will rise up. Atlanta will rise up. Compton will rise up. Because everywhere where we are, we face the threat of continuing to be last. There is no reason why any population should be making 81 times our wealth.
man,
Come on. Why would, when 12-year-olds start doing carjackings, all of us supposed to be standing up like, wait a minute,
what's
something
going
ain't right?
on?
Where they
Exactly.
laying their heads at, right?
Right.
We got
Right.
to start questioning and stop being so trusting. And to my folks that's talking about, yeah, lock them up, shame on you. Shame on you, because guess what? When we get in that pine box and we go out of here, I hope you get to those pearly gates. And I want to understand that conversation when you said it was okay to lock 14 years old up. Yeah,
Right.
they out of control, but
But
they
they ain't
not
know
out
no
of
better.
control by themselves. What did we
Education.
provide for them?
Education. They ain't know no better,
Absolutely
right?
education. But we
Yeah.
too busy living. Chiefy, you knew how long it took us to find ourselves. I
Man,
ain't found myself till after 30.
I was
So
I
how
was
they
look, I was
supposed
gonna
to
look
come through
tomorrow.
all
I was
this?
gonna look tomorrow a
And,
little bit.
and Chiefy, if we had the internet, we might be some
Oh
different
man,
people.
ooh,
I'm
that'd be
just
terrible.
saying, are
And
we
they don't
gonna
even
have these
understand
real
the advantage that,
conversations or not?
yeah. And some of them don't understand the advantage they got. But now
Look,
you speaking from a place of authentic place and very genuine, and you have great facts and understanding of the landscape, the demographic. And I'm just saying in the comments, like we talked earlier, that's why we here.
yeah,
Because if you
that's why
told me
we
some
here.
crazy stuff, I'd have been like, yeah, Vaughn, your wife cool and all that, but
Right, right. I don't
man,
know about no
I couldn't
connect.
wait
What
for
she
this
know about
joint.
politics? I ain't heard of it.
Yeah,
That's because
nah,
I'm
but
a
you
mental
was
health
on point.
advocate.
Yeah, and like we could have delved into so many places, but power of the people,
Yes,
representation of the people by
yes,
the people are the
yes,
people, and
yes.
like yeah, we need that. We need somebody who understand. Also back to Bowser, and like I said, I'm not
No,
she's
it's
signed in Go
real.
Go, so she gonna always have a place in my heart, and that
Look,
could have just been the timing. But listen, yeah, just like Obama, right? It's just
mhm.
you got to think about campaign, the lobbyists, the people that funded these campaigns and stuff, right? Like I was
Let's
I was
not
down with
check.
Red Grant when he was trying to run. I was
Mm-hmm.
down, they're my people, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and he got the popularity and probably the funding. But it's just certain things that have to happen because sometimes once this power get in place, like we said earlier,
Yes,
it's hard to get it
yes.
out. But yeah, it could be a lot of that was going on, people that's around that she has to appease now that when there's funding coming through and they back in the door, like, yeah, I said I was gonna get you. I
Yeah.
got you. It's a lot that be going on. So we need somebody that's genuine, authentic to the people with integrity, morals, values that ain't just about the dollar and
That's
selling their
right.
soul, which a lot of people do. A lot of people
That's
sell
right.
their soul for a
They
job they
start
go
out,
to
yeah, they
every
do.
day.
They
People look
do.
at the entertainers and like, yeah, they sold his soul. But you sold your soul when you wake up and go to a job you hate every day and hate your boss and hate your
Absolutely.
work. And that might be on you because you ain't going to look for nothing better or you can't find nothing better. So
That's
it's the
right. You
same
just you
thing.
just you just content. And you know
Yeah,
what? I'm glad you went there because I get that, but I'm from DC. That's why I came forward because I watch people that are not from here go out and they want to do it and then they get out there and they realize, we some tough people. We some
yeah,
tough people, right? But the truth of the matter is that I am of this land. I was nurtured in this land. I could have been different. My dad was, a real one. And he died from a heroin overdose. My
mm,
mother was diagnosed with schizophrenia. So that meant in my childhood, I was going up to St. Elizabeth. My big mama stood in place and made sure that I'm sitting before you, talking to you the way I am. Right.
yeah,
And all of us have a journey. All of us have a story. If we don't show up and let them know who we are, if we don't stand for something, we'll fall for anything. And I
yeah,
came forward because I saw the numbers. I got some babies, right, that I'm holding on to. I got some families and some mamas that I'm holding on to. I got some young men that I'm holding on to because it's not easy to get people to open up and deal with the reality of a depression and anxiety or mental health. Because as soon as you feel different, you don't want nobody else to know because you
mhm,
know how we are. DC
yeah,
is a tough town. And I
yeah,
hear it oftentimes, well, the person that came before you, I ain't got nothing to do with what they did. But if
right,
you want to make sure that this is real, then you come on and walk with me. Get out of that passenger seat and come on and do the work so that you can go there and learn something, be a part of something, and make sure that we'll never be here again. This not my first career. This not my second career. This not even my third career. You feel me? I done ran real estate companies and I done been a mental health advocate, as I just told you, for 10 years. I just buried my mother 2 years ago. This is about legacy. I'm doing legacy work because I am a DCite, I'm a Washingtonian, and I will be that until the day I leave here. And before I sit here and walk these streets and see what's going on and watch these families not survive, not get ahead, yeah, I'm gonna take it to them like I've been doing. Check my record. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
that's
So
right.
it's time, DC. It's time for us to do something more than just talk. I know we got some tough ones. Red Grant and I was in high school together,
Oh,
English
okay.
class. He always told good jokes. When he came to run, he's like, "Rhonda, you smart, you get on my team." I said, "Grant, you ain't been here. There's some real stuff here. You ain't been
Yeah,
here."
yeah,
Okay, I just got to keep it 100. I done looked in front of people when they at their lowest, didn't want to live anymore because suicide is real when you feel left out, when you
right.
feel isolated and misunderstood. I'm not about to let them down, and you don't have to know who they are for me to do what I'm supposed to do. So
Right.
you either with us winning, or you gonna keep staying on the sideline being emotional. Emotions don't change anything. This is
Right.
DC. When I was in Germany, it meant something. To our brothers in jail, it means something. When you go around the world, it means something. And it needs to mean something every day where we are. Trump is an opportunist. He got a small window to try to make something happen. And it's up to us to decide that we're going to shut it down. And we
Yeah.
never need to be here anymore. This is bigger and beyond Muriel Bowser. Muriel
Yeah.
Bowser looking at her legacy in the newspaper article. And I said, what? Because we got some sports teams? Nah, baby, your legacy is going to be about all the lives that we lost. You see that mama coming to press conferences trying to get her to acknowledge the fact that she lost her baby, Karan Hilton. We stood out there to 3 in the morning with that mother, and all she wanted was acknowledgement that her baby was gone. You know how many families then buried their children on this watch because of bad governance? You know how many children I got in that government dealing with sexual abuse? Come on. This is real. These are people's lives. And like I said, this homeless thing, no, we don't want them in the street.
Right.
We need to be accountable for the fact that we haven't done enough to help people get back to living and back to being a part of society. There's a dignity that we've damaged, and we need to be accountable to that. So we got some local mess that we got to clean up, and Trump is just, he's jumping and pouncing on us because we're weak.
And one thing about that, you've had your boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
For a while.
Absolutely.
So you're not coming in from somewhere like who may have come in, like we said, these program directors, these the people with Trump in the cabinet.
I don't see no glory, no fame. I thought I was gonna be on a beach. I'm gonna put it out there. I don't usually tell my age. I'm 55, right? I'm gonna be on the beach doing some stuff, right?
Yeah, you was getting at the money, but you still had your heart was in the community.
Absolutely.
And God has called you. God has called you.
Yes.
And so the people will respect that, because that's what we always need, just like a program director, right? Instead of hiring this dude from out of town, when Cheef get old that and played go-go for years, or Scooby or somebody, let him be the program director.
Mom will tell you.
But just our area, right? We understand.
Fellas will tell you. Yes, when I came out, I was like, I need you teaching drums. I need you teach. Long before she even named it for the city, I was like, who's passing it down? I just had this conversation with our black farmers, because I see they get ready to kick them off of Medicaid and snatch the SNAP. So we got to be ahead of it. We got to stay ready so we're not getting ready. So I asked the farmers, look, I need to start getting some greenhouses on top of these buildings so we can get back to gardening and growing our stuff and getting some healthy fruits and vegetables in our people. We need to be more self-sufficient so we can tell that federal government we got good. This.
Like the New York government.
Our town telling us what to do. California is the 4th largest economy around the world, right? They give more in taxes to the federal government than what they pull out of it, right? He went down there trying to play Gavin Newsom, and you see he down here now. He need to come after us because he couldn't get nowhere with him.
You couldn't bully him,
right? A bully will always try a weak one.
Yeah, because that's what they are.
Never been weak coming from DC, and we ain't gonna start now.
Yeah, because a bully is just a weak person being loud, right? And just like a dog that bark loud, but he ain't really about that. So I saw a clip, right? When they approached the dude that was sitting on like his porch, out of nowhere, and he like, it's a cigarette. Like, what y'all heard of Trump? This and this and that. He said a general quality of life check. He said we're doing quality of life offenses. We're out here defending and searching for quality of life offenses, right? In the hood, like you. And so I don't know if they uptown and all the nice places in DC, right? But it was called a quality of life a check, like type of quality of life offense. Like if you're out here doing something, detrimental to your quality of life, we're out here to save you from that. And it's like, Y'all couldn't Medicaid, all the things you just said. What you mean? The quality of life.
Guess what? That's
Insanity.
that's what makes it so ludicrous, because they think they smarter than us, and I don't mean
Right.
they as a race, but anybody that's supporting this nonsense. And then they let the world watch it, so the world is like those poor people in
Yeah, they dumb.
DC.
They
I
dumb as
watched
shit,
her
man.
on Bowser on the Breakfast Club, and I thought this is such a plastic conversation.
Yes.
I walk with receipts. When you want to have a real conversation about how we could even be here, hey Chief, guess what? What if Man Barry was still here? You think he would have tried us?
Oh, for sure. He would have got locked up.
Come on. Come on. He would have been leading the charge. We would have
Yeah,
been
he
out
would have
there locked
whatever
in
it took.
arms, and the images going around the world would have been us on Pennsylvania Avenue in front of that Wilson building, or over there in front of Congress. Like, what? You gonna do
Because we
what?
respect him. And he's
Come
of the
on.
community.
Come
Like I
on.
said, we might not respect her. We ain't see her in the go-go, even though she tried to play the congos at the museum.
Come on.
You ain't
Send her a case of mumbo sauce. Tell her we thank her for her business. But right now, we need to be playing chess. No, nothing personal. But we need leadership that understands that we are unapologetically DC. We don't need you to tell us how to live or be. We've been managing a $21 billion budget. You know how many lives we could have saved with $21 billion? But we've been playing around in the money.
Yes.
Keeping the people snowed by putting a popular one in front of them and giving the popular one some money, because their job is to keep the rest of us quiet and in place. What kind of plantation nonsense is that? It is time for DC to win. And I know there's some real ones out there that feel like I feel. And don't be talking about you don't do politics, because the politics is doing you. Every time you see that young and go astray, every time something don't happen the way it's supposed to happen that you know should have happened, I promise you, those workers in DC government, they upset. They don't like the way they feel.
Yeah.
Because we came up at a time when it was pride to be from east of this river. Now they turning us into some kind of basket case, and now they got to come run with agendas like they got the answer. How can he have the answer when he got the rest of the world turned upside down? We didn't have the luxury of having rich daddies. We might have different outcomes if we knew what bankruptcy was. Come on. They're using rich man tools and then propping themselves up to tell us why we need them. We don't need nobody but ourselves. And it's time for us to get it together so that we can save our city, and so that the world knows that the one place you don't go messing with, that's DC. And because we haven't got this statehood done all this time, it's time to get these leaders out the way so a real one can come down the lane. Because I'm at the door. I'm here. I ain't coming. I'm here. Help is here.
So somebody said, just triggered this, even with the curriculum, right? Like, teach us how to not go bankrupt. Like Tupac said back in the day, why don't got classes on banking and financial literacy? They got classes on gym. Like, you teach you basketball and how to cook a pie and, whatever, right? But not to mention you took music out the schools. Y'all didn't hear my, right?
$21 billion, Chiefy. $21 billion. We can really put this thing back together, right? I ain't playing.
And so the people of our generation, right, and maybe before and right after, we understand with this influx of information. We understand. I know everybody watching YouTube videos about the stock market and marketing and how to make online money. But most of us too scared to say anything or whatever. We acquiring this knowledge, and hopefully you feeding it to your kids. But you know what I'm saying? It's so much now that we could do. But if they had like financial literacy,
there you go, financial literacy.
Stock class
let me tell you what's so beautiful about what you just said. Let me tell you what's so beautiful. I'm an insurance producer now. I'm an insurance company owner. I was a real estate broker, took care of my mom, mental health advocate, got my insurance license, right? Insurance is the first introduction to wealth, right? But most of us understand where we come from, that insurance is about preparing to die. When most of them and their families and these corporations got their wealth from insurance. We don't have the same conversation. We don't have the same accesses. Believe me when I tell you it's time. It is time. It's
Yes.
time to win, and win we will. But
Yes.
first, we got to take care of some business. And what he's doing right now is not permanent. He has to go through the process, but right now he has the purview of the media, and he has the ability to evoke all of these orders that make it seem like he's got it. But there's a legal conversation that has to happen, and the people have to show up. So I
Yes.
need DC to show up. And when you show up ready. I don't want nobody fighting. We don't have to fight no more. They moved the shackles from our ankles to our mind. We just
Yes.
have to be willing,
Yes.
willing
Yes.
to do
Active
something
participants.
different. That's
Yes.
right. That's so August 20th, next Wednesday, as Mr.
Oh,
Lewis said, come out and get in some good trouble. This is the civil rights fight of our time. It is us. The people around the world need to understand that DC, we time enough for him. We time enough for him and anybody that think they getting ready to take over our city. And our dear mayor, she tried. She did a good job, I guess, to the point that she got to go. We weak. We would not be this weak if her policies were working. And we got too many children we lost on her watch. I don't want another child buried. I don't want another citizen buried. But to do that, we got to go out on that block, and I got to have real ones like you, Chiefy, with me. I know we out here.
indeed. Indeed. I've been wanting to look. I mean, I do what I can musically and just with the youth, but I definitely been I look that I'm the most light skinned activist since Huey and Angela Davis. And Farrakhan, well, but yeah, and
Look,
look, my daughter worse than me, and she lighter than me. If that's
look.
possible, she be like, white people, and this that. Do you understand?
Look, we come in all shapes and sizes and colors.
That's
It don't
exactly
even
right.
matter. I got to have
That's
you all at
exactly
the
right.
table because I got to line these youngins up and these young ones that think that the boat then left. I got to line them up and drop them off with folk like you so we can get them ready and marching and part of this economy. We've been going through this too long. The world is watching us, and they need to know that there's some real ones that can come forward and do this. And we're going to, and we're going to change the energy in our town. I'm so real with that.
Yeah,
The reality is that there's a conversation, there's a time, and this is our time.
yeah. We the capital city. We the nation's cap, and we
Yes.
taking it back. And
Yeah,
one thing
I
about
see
that,
somebody. I see somebody saying to distract us from Epstein. Absolutely, the
absolutely.
theater of politics. He think he gonna switch, and that's why I'm disappointed with her. But I guess she know the writing on the wall, so she's scared to step in that lane. But you got
Exactly.
to shut a bully down. You got to let him know. Look, it's not getting lost on us that you needed a segue, and I can't think of a better segue than to flood the nation's capital with National Guard because it's so dangerous. I walk these streets daily to go to my appointments and go to my speaking engagements.
Mhm,
Sometimes I get on the train on purpose just so I can make myself have conversations with folks that I wouldn't
mhm,
see every day.
mhm,
Don't tell me
mhm.
about how dangerous this city is. We got some lost souls, some bad actors making some reckless choices, and we have opportunity to save some lives. And if you was real about that, instead of bringing in military-minded individuals to deal with our lost souls, you would have sat at the table and asked and helped us understand what resources look like. But no,
Yes.
you're going to take our resources and tell us we need you in the same swoop. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Yes.
We from DC.
Yeah.
Come
We
on.
are the people.
Come on. We
Indeed.
are the people. We the nation seat of governance. And matter of fact, we're gonna send you out of here. Give us a minute to put it together. You better not come here. When we finish, they're gonna be lead them people alone. And the one
Yes.
thing I gotta credit him with is waking the people up to say,
Yes.
look, something wrong here, because we couldn't do it with just flat education and good hearts. So the
Mhm.
one thing I gotta credit him for is waking my people up.
Hey,
We
right.
want to make him regret it every day for the rest of his life.
Right.
You leave us alone.
So, Rhonda, everything happens for a reason. I'm the big guy, big shot. Just like the guy.
Just like the dude that walked by. I gotta go bring on back to go right.
Uh-huh,
Just
uh-huh.
like the dude that walked by and said this music too loud, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
making a
he was. That's
now
what
you
they
have
do.
Coco as the official music.
So I come in, I stir it up. Okay, people love me. I'm Trump, big orange guy. I love everybody. Nobody.
Yeah, get on out of here, Slim.
He going out of here. He going out of here, and it's just going to be a matter of time. So I am so grateful to you and for folks that are from DC that know real, recognize real. And I needed to make sure that this word got out. If we don't pack that church next Wednesday, we deserve everything we get. We
Yeah,
deserve everything we get because this is nothing but entertainment to them.
yes.
They don't, and they're not going to care about our people. Let me just close out with this. How in the world is the history that Mr. Trump is connected to with this Epstein stuff? They didn't care about young white girls. What makes you think they're going to care about young black boys and girls? They going to clean us up? Yeah, what they're going to do is get their pockets fat because there's a lot of exploitation going on with young lives around the world with folks with money. So we need to wake up.
Yes, definitely. Wake up, tap in, lock in to the info. Thank you, Dr. Rhonda Hamilton.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We put this together last minute, and it was definitely my speed and one of the best Cheef and Goes that I've had because it's valuable, right? It's super valuable. It's very important. It's vital to our existence, our life, our moving forward, and our quality of life, and our education, which is most important because without education, we can't even identify the problems and you know perceive what the dangers are because we're not even educated to understand what to look for.
That's right.
There's a lot of crime in the city, and you know it's a lot of just like I said anywhere, but it's not comparable to the world and Mexico City and these places. He's putting a lot of fluff on it. So if you watch the everyday CNN, the ABCs all day, you're going to get misled. You got to dig deep and get your research and go outside and just look.
Let me say this real quick before I forget. Safety should include the reality of a wellness understanding. Mm-hmm. Now, how are you cleaning up and making us more safer by making more people traumatically distressed, distraught, and with anxiety, not knowing what to expect, thinking they getting ready to lose their money? There's a wellness component that we are ignoring, and they need to be held accountable for that. And I've written him a letter to tell him that your fear mongering, the way you moving in our town, you are imposing trauma on a lot of lives. And as the sitting president, you are wrong. It is unacceptable. And I hope you would never have to be homeless. He would never make it. His feet have never touched the ground. He's never had to survive anything, not even that so-called gunshot. Don't get me started.
Right.
The theater of politics.
Yes. And we ain't going. That's how we say it here. We ain't going. So look.
He doesn't have the right to give our city away, Chiefy. And we must show up and let them know this is our city. The first step on our organizational chart is the DC resident. This is our town, and we don't need an invitation to run our business.
The people. Side note, something you said made me think of this. About 5-6 years ago, 2015, 16, 17, I'm riding through Benning Road, you know, the heart of the city, different places, wherever I was, Capitol Heights Metro. I started looking up and noticing a black young man with a child on his shoulders and a child in a stroller and holding one of their hands. I'm talking about at every intersection repeatedly, right? Because my daughter, my oldest daughter, mother died when she was 1. I got friends that they got like a stork. The daughter was dropped off on the doorstep. You know, I got friends that mothers had the baby and wasn't capable. I have a lot of single father friends, so that's close to me. But I'm saying just riding around the city, I'm seeing this baby smiling. They got their ice cream and their candy, and they on daddy's shoulders, and daddy got 2 or 3 of them holding their hand, walking across the street. And I'm seeing this repeatedly, right? But I'm hearing the statistics. I'm reading the statistics, and I'm like, this, you know, and I'm coming home telling my, man, this don't check out, like, because I'm seeing this in real time. I remember my sister saying, you know, love my sisters, but she had a couple, her situations, they not so available. Right? And so maybe I'm saying, okay, that's your perception, because, you know, your situation, I understand that. But what I'm telling you, what I'm seeing in real time, because I'm riding in and I'm Indian everywhere, right? And everywhere, all over the city. And I'm seeing this constantly. And so I'm telling her, and she's like, yeah, whatever, this and that. So just to say that the statistics aren't always true.
Look,
Fast
I'm
forward,
a,
like last year or
yeah,
2 years ago, they did a study, and
yeah.
that shit came true in the study. They said, yeah, black fathers
Look,
are out here holding it down.
you can have, look, first of all, let me just tell my black fathers, let me give you guys recognition and applause, right? My campaign manager, Mr. James Hutchins, shout out to my campaign manager, is a father 8 times over, and he hands-on, and he done been through a few things, but he's in their lives. I am a daddy's girl, right?
Mhm.
We cannot win without our black men at the table. That's number one. The design by this government and the government's past was to break up the family, because when we are strong,
The triangle.
you can't do nothing with it. But if they can separate us and put our women against our men, and then create all these other narratives and have them checking their sexuality and just going through things for survival and just breaking us down on every level because they are the power. No, they fear us.
Yes.
They feared us then, and they fear us now.
Right.
Because we are a resilient people when we wake up and realize that the chains are on our mind.
Oh,
It's
so
us.
I
We
ain't trying
got to
to.
come together.
I ain't
See.
trying to be funny
I
with all
know.
that.
I
I'm
know.
saying the black family structure, right? God and your spirituality, mother and
Yes.
child, right? That
Yes.
structure, right? Because there's a certain design for energy with the
Yes.
moon and the sun and
Yes.
mama for emotional and her nurturing and all this,
Yes.
the daddy for critical thinking,
Yes.
logic, and this and that, the sun, the moon. This is when
Yes.
these plants grow. We are like a plant. So, and then the spirituality to guide us both. And this
Yes.
to come up under us. So how many families are sitting at the table eating dinner at night?
Come on.
Very
Come
important.
on.
Imagine you got to come and mama and daddy, you and sis, or your brother, if you're an only child, it's just y'all three, right? Or y'all got to sit at the table. It's inevitable that conversations are going to come up about your day, right? How you moved, why you moved, what you did, and why you should have moved like that. So that's going to help guide you for tomorrow and give you give you assistance, or
Watch this. But that was what was so important about the big mama's role.
Yes.
Because even when you had a broken situation, you had that wisdom there to keep the glue together, right? That's who we are. That's who we are. And when other folks come in and start telling us that we need them, they don't even understand us, and they don't even care to understand us. So we got to look to others to know what our foundation is. Nah, we don't. We got to come back and take responsibility for what we lost and put it back together so these youngins have a shot. I started off saying to you that the average age was 34 years old. We got to start working for the world that they're going to inherit and get out of our head that it's about us, right? We got to do the right thing and show up for these youngins so that they can go on and do some great things. Right. Plenty of people told me I was going to be a statistic. Yeah, they just didn't know what type of statistic. Yeah. Right? Because I'm coming forward to make history on Trump's watch. We're not doing this.
Hey, this has been beautiful, man. Look, Dr. Rhonda L. Hamilton.
That's right.
Shout out to Vaughn. Right. Shout out to y'all.
Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
Look, I said that earlier. I hadn't read that though. That's a good hook.
I ain't come to play.
Yeah, because you already know what they're gonna think when they hear Rhonda.
Yeah, help is here. I just want you get that jingle in your head and you can't get it out. I don't want there to be no mistake. When November 2026 come around, I want them to be like, oh God, I gotta go vote for this lady. She helped. She helped. I just want you to remember the word help, because help is what we need, and help is here. I got an awesome team. They are so excited. You see I'm rooted. You see I got connections, right? I'm on the Cheef show. You know what I'm saying? You know.
I appreciate
I keep telling them, don't play with me. If you of this land, real recognize real, and it's time to break this nonsense up so we can go get some work done. And I have real soldiers behind me. That's right.
The facts. You got a lot of love in the comments, and Congo Danny just said y'all on fire. Yeah, Danny, we did that. I ain't gonna hold you. But
Hey, Tiffy, anytime you want to have
yeah,
me, I want to be here.
yeah,
You don't need an invitation. I need you, brother. We got some kids to
yeah,
save, got some young lives, and they respect you all. They respect you all. And
yeah,
and and I want to just create the avenue that makes it financially possible for there to be some winning and to
yeah,
stop all this power grab and money grab, and we're not doing the right thing. We're never going to be this weak again. They're
yeah,
not going to try us again. We're going to get through this. We're going to deal with this. And then the world going to know that DC is solid.
indeed. Yeah, no, and I want to get involved, like I said. So, however it is, finance, budget or not, I need to get involved because music saved my life, and it
Yes.
saved a lot of people's lives in our
Yes.
day. And we lived through a real rough time, so I got to get involved. And then
Yes.
God works in mysterious ways, and
Yes,
every
he
time
does. He
it's
got a plan, and it's
yeah,
not
now
in our time; it's in his time. And let me tell you, and let me say it on your show, Mr. Music, and all my youth music folks watching. We're gonna replace them guns in them schools with some music,
it's
right? We're gonna
guitars
put some
and bass.
programs back up in it. Come on now,
Yes,
get something on their
so
mind, right?
yes,
Come
yes.
on, come
So
on.
important. It's so
Yes,
important. It's
yes.
so
We're gonna do
important.
it together. I came out here to get my people. I'm running because they called my bluff. Think I
Yeah,
don't know, try to tell me I don't know politics. Are you kidding me? No,
nah,
it's a numbers game. I'm gonna go get my people, and you hold tight because we coming back to remove you. I got you, but I gotta go get the numbers.
right.
Because see, democracy is in trouble. And
Yeah,
while you playing, this man has showed up on our doorstep and got
playing
us
with
looking real weak to the world.
playing with us. Yeah. Now
Deal
you
with it.
rocked out. You rocked out. What I
Thank
did want to
you.
do because after I talked to you today, I just been so hype. I've been being real. I
That's
gotta
what I
post it.
want. I
I don't,
want us
yeah.
hype again. You
I
know how
mean,
we
not
do
that
when
I'm
we get hype.
yeah, I
Come
mean,
on
I've been
now.
talking about this but just to have somebody on my show, like I said, to have the facts and the stats like you
Yeah,
had, because this is
yeah.
what I want to do, and I can't do it all by myself. Like I
No,
remember I
none of
was
us
telling you that
can. It's
tonight. I
not
got a guest.
designed.
I didn't even know if it was Thursday or Wednesday, y'all. She was like, "Yeah,
Look,
I was like, we gotta do it as soon as possible. Friday ain't gonna
I'm
work." They was
glad
like,
we did
"Today
this.
is
I want us to keep doing it because this the
yeah,
thing, right?
nah,
I'm just holding the lane, right? Mayor is one seat, and I'm gonna come set the tone. But we got some council seats that got to
oh
go up
yeah,
out of there
oh
too.
already.
Don't get me
You
started.
already know
That
where
I,
my
you know,
mind
I
going.
walk with receipts.
Hey,
I
you
look.
already
We
know.
got to get y'all ready, educated, motivated. We got
Yeah,
to get our city back. It's too many of us good people that can get this done. So I'm holding the lane. And if you
yeah.
like what you heard tonight, don't sit on the sideline. Come on and be about it. What we say, don't talk about it, be
Be
about it.
about it. See
And
about it.
real ones in the lane.
Right.
Let's go.
So no, I'm all for that. I'm already
Yeah,
thinking like, yeah, we about to.
yeah,
I'm being the campaign. I'm in the campaign
yeah,
already. Say
yeah.
less.
We're gonna
So,
get
but
you
what
a
I
t-shirt. We look, I'm
yeah.
claiming
Oh,
you. I'm coming for you.
more.
I just know that.
Yeah.
My manager's watching. Jay, I want Chiefy on the team. I'm
Hey,
going around hand picking because everybody ain't authentic. But my authentic ones, I need you guys. I need
yes.
you. This
Hey,
about us.
and I do graphic design, and I do a lot of all
Yeah.
that. But let's do it. What I did
Okay.
want to do, because
Mhm.
as you got me hyped, I thought of a song that me and my guy Gabby Moe, me and my homeboy, my brother from another mother did
Uh-huh.
during the George Floyd time. I mean, we our music is mostly positive, right? We
Yeah.
reporting, but a couple, some here and there, we really get on the case. Like I got a song brewing right now in my head, y'all. I wish I
Mhm.
had a whole go-go band because it would be out. But I wanted to play a couple videos, and I went to look up this one specifically on a George Floyd joint. And on my phone, it wouldn't even let me share it because I was going to share it with you, right?
Wow.
But once I got to my computer, it did. But it said graphic images and this and that. So if you want to stay around and watch these, it's gonna play a couple minutes or two of these songs just for
Okay.
the people. But yeah, appreciate everybody tuning in, everybody commenting.
Yes. Thank
Um,
you,
yeah,
everybody. Let's go. Let's save
yeah, I feel the
DC.
love for sure,
Yes.
and I definitely feel the love for Dr. Rhonda Hamilton. Y'all
Yes.
saw what I
And I
saw.
gotta send a shout out to my hubby who y'all know he in the
Yes,
background, but he
yes,
definitely holding a sister down. And I don't
definitely.
walk these streets alone. Believe
Hey,
that.
you hear me? He put it together.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm gonna share the one with George Floyd and
Okay.
because this was like shoot, hold on, be strong. Damn, what's that? Oh, why I ain't doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I understand because it's because. Y'all see it? Hold up.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then take you to court and charge you with assault.
That is shit crazy, shit crazy, shit crazy, shit crazy.
What kind of democracy is that?
Shit
What
crazy,
kind
shit
of
crazy,
freedom
shit
is that?
crazy, shit crazy,
What
shit
kind of
crazy,
social
shit
or political
crazy, shit
system is
crazy,
it when a
shit
black
crazy,
man
shit
has no
crazy,
voice
shit
in
crazy.
court?
Heavy smoking, drinking, they be waking up intoxicated, thinking about these complicated times that we out here facing, everything out of control. Don't know where this road gon' take me. Black man living in this white America, can't take it.
I swear this shit's so crazy. In this world we living in, only God can save me. In these waters I'm swimming in, it's like we set up for failure. No matter what, can't get a win. Still like we living in slavery. Treated different for the skin I'm in. They got us stuck, fucked up. Corona season. Believe it or don't believe it. Think it's a bunch of BS. Then go jump on social media. Think it's all a act. Regardless what you believe we under attack. Sanitize, masked up, hold up, keep it 6 feet. Analyze, act up, hold up, cause in the 6 deep. Addicted to social network, likes, hits, retweets, conflict with social distancing. Hold up, like shit sweet. Living black in America, gotta stay woke, I can't sleep. Those chose to protect us, they murder us, I can't breathe. Even when this shit over, I'm still practicing social distancing from these jokers, these racist crooked ass police. Shit crazy, shit crazy, shit crazy,
we have to
shit
put a stop to
crazy,
this.
shit crazy,
And it
shit
will never be
crazy,
stopped
shit crazy, shit
until we stop
crazy,
it
shit
ourselves.
crazy, shit crazy,
They
shit
attacked the
crazy,
victim.
shit crazy,
And
shit
then the
crazy,
criminal
shit
who
crazy,
attacked the
shit
victim
crazy, shit
accused
crazy.
to be a victim
Heavy smoking,
of
drinking,
attacking
they
you.
be waking up intoxicated, thinking about these complicated times that we out here facing, everything out of control. Don't know where this road gon' take me. Black man living in this white America, can't take it.
Hey, yeah, I woke up feeling like no miles for my soldiers. All my people like, hold up, we finally fed up, it's way too much. 846 and he ain't even flinch, call for his dead mother, I can't even watch. You watch the news but ain't even sharp, there's a war going on, we ain't even armed. The world's a stage and we acting, they've been treating blacks like extras. But we built this bitch and if we stop spending, watch these companies get restless. That's the only way we need leverage, gotta stop funding our oppressors. Time to shut shit down, get town by town, send all these races a message. Watching murders on the news replaying, pumping fear to the population. Survive slavery and segregation, overcome anything that we face with. We may never see reparations, so we need unity and dedication. We can't hate another face with the same skin shade while the enemy stands adjacent. I ain't never scared of the powers that be, cause I tuned into the power in me. Woke up that sleeping God within, been on my own island ever since. Tapped into the inner energy, into the octagon infinity. Never stop, forever live, no weapon form could ever win. I'm a god.
Hey,
I
hold up.
like that.
God Almighty,
I
wait a
like
minute.
that was beautiful. You know what? Look, let's go. Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's
That's
put
it?
it back on the map. Let's tap in. Let's get them. Look, we're gonna be so lit. Coming down this lane, I got 15 months before we get them to them voting polls. I wanted to be so lit in DC that people coming from other states to come here to see this election go down. I want this to serve as empowerment across this nation. I want the demise that he planned for us to backfire for him in a way that he go and just disappear. You feel me? So go back in the hole that you crawled out of so we can get back to saving these lives and get back on track. Man, I love that. We are so talented. Chiefy, let's go. Let's go. Let's get out together.
Can I give you one more? Just I'm gonna give you like a minute and 30.
Come on, you got another one for me? Come on.
Yeah, this was a little newer, but yeah, that's me and Gabby Mo. Like we've been.
I like that. Yeah.
But this one right here is so okay. All right, present. This one is.
Every movement in history had the music. You know.
Yeah,
we got to have our movement music soundtrack to when DC came back. Come on now.
It's very important.
Hold on.
Hey, do this thug style, man. Thug style. When this whole beat drop, we just gonna run it to you, man. It's all good.
I was one of the million, making actress decisions, looking for a remedy, couldn't find a solution. And I was one of the people, looking for every signal, trying to find a memory of a time it was peaceful. Some people hate, some people lie, some people love to see a grown man cry. I'm in the States in like a million ways. All that I didn't waste my time. Cause I know I never trade my life. Baby, you laugh, but in a room you cry. All from a distance, love is missing. Fighting for a chance. I say, hold on, be strong, be strong, hold on, be strong, be strong. Be strong. Hold on. Be strong. Be strong. Be strong.
Yeah, man.
Be strong.
Yes.
This is for the girl in the dark.
Yeah,
This is
so-
for the one time.
Love it. Love
I
it.
mean, just music
Love
we
it.
do that nobody watches. You know, sometimes it's like the positive message they don't want to
You
see.
need that.
Yeah, and I felt it was you know, it
Yes,
made sense.
It was appropriate. I love that. I believe, and that's all I want our people to do is believe.
Yes.
I came forward because I believe that I can do this different.
Yes,
And I
definitely. Hold
will.
on. Believe, man.
I got all the
Just-
tools. The only
Yeah.
thing that's missing are my people.
Yes.
And they underestimated us, and it's time for us to show them who we are. Chiefy, I appreciate you. I'm coming for you. You're already on the team. I'm coming. We're going to figure this out. I want that music around my young people. I want to challenge them to put the guns down and get into some real stuff. And I want them to know that they matter, that we don't want to do this without them. And if I got to go block by block to get them, you put the word out that we coming for them. And that's real talk. Real talk.
Yeah,
Thank you, Soldier.
my brothers in
Looking
here.
forward to talking to you soon. And
Yeah,
thank
no,
you for
they-
your
they-
wonderful audience.
Definitely. Actually, I appreciate you for real. Like, this was great. And all that.
Yeah.
Like, my
Let's
line
just
is
agree to do this a couple of more times, and let's, out of the 20th next Wednesday, I really want them to just show up and sign up. Either you signing up on the side to be a resource, or you signing up because you're ready to do something different. No judgment, but we got to start making real connections and putting it down, because she didn't mismanage that money down there. We going down there to get that checkbook so we can save some lives. We can
All
do
right.
this. All right.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Yes, we
And
yes, we
don't
can.
let our talk theater. It's theater. It's theater. This too shall pass. That closing final act, they're going to close the curtains, and we still got to live. So let this
Yes.
joker be the joker, and let's worry about taking care of what we got to take care of.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can. Thank
Yes,
you.
we can.
Rhonda.
Yes, we will.
We
All of that.
appreciate you coming through, doing all that you have done. Very articulate on the matter.
Let me find out
Yes.
you do impersonations too.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. I just
Hey.
want to tell the people of the District of Columbia, the people of America, me, Rhonda, Rhonda, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Backyard Band, Red Hester, Nick Man, we're coming through.
That's right.
We represent
Call
the
it
state.
out.
And we're going to do what we need to do.
Yes.
Yes, we can. There's power in the people,
Yes.
and the people are the power.
That's
Salute
right.
to you, Dr. Rhonda Hamilton.
That's
Until
right.
next time, DC, keep it cranking.
15 months, we throw a world party. We throw a party and invite the world to the nation's capital as we coming to make history and shut it down.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's go.
I'm with y'all. Love y'all.
Love you more. Thank you so much, Chiefy.
All right, now. Peace.
EC, let's go.
Let's go.
Bye-bye.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. 95, I pledge allegiance to the great. Oh, as long as I'm alive.
Cheef and Go.